Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video, and if you know me, you know I'm incredibly excited for Stellar Blade to come to PC. I still think it's gonna be a gigantic release, but I gotta go over some bad news. Some stuff that maybe we should have seen coming, but come on, PlayStation. Whoever's involved with this, we gotta get this remedied as soon as possible as far as the region locking goes, and now we've got Denuvo being implemented as well, so you can't even have the opportunity to pirate the game right away if you're looking to sail the high seas in one of those regions. But I'll get to all of this in a second, and I'll have my, meltdown, my emotional meltdown over it, because this is going to restrict how good this game is going to do, and I want this game to do as good as humanly possible from a commercial standpoint. But before I get into this, look, there's a lot of you guys that still want to pick up Stellar Blade, of course, and the game is discounted over on Green Man Gaming, our good friends over there. XP members have it 16% off for $50.39. The Complete Edition is also 16% off for $67.19. If you are not an XP member, use the code MAY15, that's MAY15, and you'll save 15% off, so not entirely 16%, but you'll get it cheaper, you'll get a Steam key, you won't pay tax either, so you'll be saving a lot. Links to that in the description box below. If you buy it, I do get an affiliate kickback. So, brothers, I do not know how this has yet to be remedied. So Stellar Blade gets its official reveal. It's out June 11th. You get all of the system requirements laid out there. The game looks like it's going to be able to be played on lower-end machines. Higher-end machines are going to be optimized. It's going to be playable on Steam Deck. $60 for the base game, $80 for the Complete Edition with even more bonus stuff. Okay, all of that looks good. And then you hit me with, this game is still region locked, so there's still a bunch of regions that aren't going to be able to play the game. They removed PlayStation Network account linking, and yes, Stellar Blade will not require PSN account linking. However, you're still region locking this game, and I get it that I live in the States. A lot of you guys live in the States. A lot of you guys live in areas where this game is going to be available. Why I am infuriated about this is because I want this game to crush it. I want this game to do as good as possible. Why are we restricting people from buying this game? Oh, and by the way, on top of that, now you've got Denuvo anti-tamper DRM being implemented as well. That is new. I don't believe any other PlayStation game has had Denuvo in it, and that is going to restrict people from pirating the game. Performance issues have been tied to Denuvo as well, so that's something to monitor as well. All of my anticipation has not been eliminated. I love Stellar Blade as a game. I'm incredibly excited to revisit this game on PC. However, come on, you guys. This is basic stuff. Stellar Blade is a game that fostered so much consumer goodwill. You should try to ride that momentum, and maybe this is misunderstanding the PC landscape and not understanding PC gaming. Denuvo, I really don't believe is a net positive ultimately. Yes, you stop some people from pirating the game. However, ultimately, I think it is more beneficial, especially with a game like Stellar Blade, to just build a lot of goodwill with your PC audience and go about it that way. On top of that, the region locking at this stage of the game, I have heard no reasonable explanation for that, unless Stellar Blade has an optional PSN account linking and their mindset is, oh, we need people to have that option be available to them, so we're gonna restrict it anyway, or if it's a Steam side of thing, I don't know. However, we need to get this fixed. We need to get this resolved, because the PSN account linking, they tried to, get that over on PC, and it was a disaster. It legitimately affected how games did. God of War Ragnarok did poorly, or lesser than it should have, in my opinion, because of the PSN account linking. Ultimately, they went back on it fairly quickly, but you still had issues with games like Ghost of Tsushima's Legends component requiring PSN account linking, and they tried to do what they did with Helldivers 2 and got completely clowned on. These things are basic to me, and to me, I feel like a lot of these publishers really have to understand and comprehend that the biggest asset that you can have, the biggest asset that you can have from your consumer is goodwill. You should try to craft as much goodwill as possible, or at some point you will end up in a Ubisoft situation where you crap all over goodwill for a long period of time. And I'm not saying Stellar Blade is going to end up like that, but understand, yes, it's nice to make money. Yes, it's nice to do things the way you want to do it. But if you crap on consumer goodwill over and over again, eventually that is going to have repercussions, and Sony's in a position where they don't have to care about doing anything, because at this point nothing is going to have that big of a consequence because they don't have a direct competitor. However, it's a clown show operation a lot of times with all of their live service games. With PSN account linking in the first place, which totally got clowned on. They tried to pull that with Helldivers 2. How'd that turn out for you? But in this situation, Stellar Blade is a brand new IP. It's whatever when Last of Us Part 1 comes out as a bad PC port. At the end of the day, Last of Us is still a juggernaut of an IP, and it's a drop in the bucket. It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. Last of Us Part 2 is a trash game. Last of Us is still a gigantic IP. Last of Us Part 2 still made an absurd amount of money. Season 2's airing, so on and so forth. Stellar Blade is a brand new IP that we are trying to establish, that we are trying to make into one of the premier pillars for PlayStation. At least I foresee it having the potential of that. Why is it now that this game is not being able to be bought in certain regions? Why is this the first game that Denuvo is being implemented in? Now, is this a PlayStation decision or is this a shift-up decision? I don't know, but PlayStation should have had the wherewithal to be like, hey, we don't want this implemented. And it should note that publisher for this game is PlayStation. However, that's every region excluding China. I don't know if that has something to do with it. I don't know what the reasoning is for this game to have Denuvo, for this game, them not figuring it out at this point. And they should have figured it out with Spider-Man 2. They should have figured it out with Last of Us Part 2. They should have figured it out with God of War Ragnarok. That PSN account linking is trash. The region locking is trash. They should throw that out the window. These games are being ported to PC, yes. I know that PlayStation has they're living in this fantasy land. Oh my god, we'll introduce PC gamers to these IPs and then they'll eventually buy a PlayStation. It's not going to happen. We all know it's not going to happen. Maybe a very small amount of people will be like, oh my god, I love this game so much and the new one's only on PlayStation for now and I gotta go buy a PlayStation 5. Maybe that'll happen a fraction, a small percentage of time. But why do that if you're gonna release a game on PC? Enough with this half-ass, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. We still desperately want people on PS5, and I get it. You want people to pay your outrageous PlayStation Plus fees. You want people to buy all your games on that platform. You want to restrict them, so on and so forth, but it's just not gonna happen. If you want to release your game on PC, do as good of a job as possible. Don't do crappy ports like Spider-Man 2 and Last of Us Part 2. Release it in every region and do not implement Denuvo. Learn from games like Baldur's Gate 3 that cultivated so much consumer goodwill, and Stellar Blade is a game that with its PlayStation release and with the style of game that it is, it did foster a lot of consumer goodwill. Why are we now doing this nonsense? Why is Denuvo being implemented? Why is this game not available in every region? But I digress. I think it's a bummer and goes without saying, but that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. As always, thanks for watching. I hope they get this remedied. I want this game to do as good as possible, and restricting it in terms of what regions it's available is obviously also going to restrict its sales numbers. I still think it's going to do outstandingly well, even with Denuvo, even with it being restricted, but it's not going to do as well as it could have. And who knows if there's going to be any performance issues. The Denuvo particularly is 5 different systems within a day of machine activation. That's the limit that they have on it, which is lame as hell, but that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.